Fire chosen ones, ignoring September 25, 26, and 27 will destroy what the universe was about to give you. Fire ladies and gentlemen, chosen ones, seekers of truth and carriers of divine destiny, I stand before you today to deliver a message that cannot be ignored. The universe is not silent. It does not move without purpose. Every shift in energy, every alignment of time, every moment that calls out to your spirit is part of a grand orchestration meant to usher you into your destiny. And yet there are seasons where the whispers of the universe become shouts, where the call of the spirit becomes urgent, and where the choice to pay attention or to ignore will determine everything about the future you are about to step into. We are entering one of those moments right now. The days of September 25, 26, and 27 are not ordinary dates on a calendar. For the chosen ones, they mark a divine window, a spiritual portal where the energy of the universe is aligning in your favor. These days hold promises, revelations, and blessings that have been stored up for you, waiting for the moment when your heart, your faith, and your focus are ready to receive them. But hear me clearly. To ignore these days, to treat them as common, to move through them as if nothing extraordinary is happening, is to risk losing what the universe was about to release into your life. The reason most people miss their breakthroughs is not because the blessings were never prepared for them, but because they were distracted when the time came, they ignored the signs, they silenced the voice within. They dismissed the inner tugging as coincidence, but chosen ones, you cannot afford to fall into that trap. The universe will not force you. It will invite you. It will place before you a door, but it will never push you through it. The responsibility to recognize and walk through that door belongs to you. September 25, 26, and 27 are not to be wasted in fear, laziness, or ignorance. These days demand awareness. They require that you heighten your sensitivity, sharpen your vision, and prepare your spirit. Dreams may speak more clearly. Encounters may carry hidden meanings. Numbers, patterns, and synchronicities may flash before you like divine codes. Pay attention, because within these signs lies the direction that will lead you to what you've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, chosen ones, let this be your wake-up call. Ignoring these days is not just delaying your destiny. It could destroy the very thing the universe has been positioning to give you. Blessings have timing. Opportunities have seasons, and once the moment passes, the window closes. Don't let distraction steal your inheritance. Don't let ignorance blind you. Don't let doubt silence the voice of guidance. This is the time to lean in. This is the time to listen. This is the time to align, because when September 25, 26, and 27 arrive, they are not just days, they are divine appointments. And what you do with them will shape everything that comes after. Divine timing cannot be ignored. There comes a moment in the life of every chosen one where the call of destiny collides with the appointed timing of the universe. It is not enough to simply want blessings, to pray for breakthroughs, or to declare affirmations of faith. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, sets seasons of divine alignment, and in those seasons everything is orchestrated for your good. To ignore these seasons is to miss the very delivery of what you have long been waiting for. Divine timing is not a suggestion. It is an unshakable law. When the hour strikes, when the door opens, when the window of heaven releases its favor, you must be awake enough to recognize it and courageous enough to step into it. The danger lies not in whether the universe is willing to give, but in whether you are willing to receive when the moment arrives. Most people lose their blessing not because they were undeserving, but because they were distracted when destiny knocked. They were caught up in noise, in doubt, in fear, in the ordinary routines of life, and they missed the extraordinary moment disguised as an ordinary day. That is why divine timing demands attention. It comes quietly, often without fanfare, yet the one who is spiritually alert will feel the vibration of the shift, the gentle but powerful nudge that says, now is the time. Understand this, blessings are never late. They are always on schedule according to divine timing. If you prayed for something years ago and it has not yet appeared, it does not mean it has been denied. It means the appointed hour has not yet struck. But when that appointed hour arrives, if you treat it casually, if you ignore the signs, you can forfeit what was meant to be placed in your hands. A season missed can become a blessing delayed, and for some, a blessing permanently lost. The universe is generous, but it also respects alignment. You must be in the right posture when the gift comes. September 25, 26, and 27 are such appointed days, days that carry the vibration of divine timing. The chosen ones who are awake to this truth will recognize that these are not ordinary dates. They are windows where the universe has chosen to release answers, guidance, and opportunities that were being prepared behind the veil. To ignore these days is not merely a small mistake. It is to walk past your own answered prayer. It is like a farmer who prayed for rain but left his field untilled. When the rain comes, it falls, but the soil is unprepared and the harvest is lost. Divine timing is always partnered with responsibility. You are required to till your soil, to be ready, to keep your lamp burning with oil like the wise virgins who awaited the bridegroom. Those who were foolish missed their moment, not because the bridegroom did not come, but because they were not prepared when he did. The same principle applies to you. The universe is faithful to its timing, but will you be faithful to your awareness? Will you guard your heart, clear your mind, and open your spirit during these days of September so that nothing distracts you from the signal when it arrives? Think about the many times you asked for guidance, prayed for a sign, or cried for direction. Do you not know that divine timing is the answer to those requests? The universe stores the blessing until the environment is aligned, until the people around you are positioned, until your own character has been refined. And then suddenly everything shifts, and what was once delayed becomes ready. But chosen ones, the readiness of heaven must meet the readiness of earth. Your awareness, your focus, your willingness to act become the key to unlocking what has already been prepared. This is why ignoring divine timing is so destructive. You may believe you have more time, you may think the opportunity will circle back again, but sometimes destiny only knocks once. And even if the chance does return, it may come in a different form, at a much greater cost, requiring more patience, more waiting, and more tests. That is why spiritual sensitivity is your greatest ally. When you sense the pull of a moment, you must not dismiss it. When you feel the unusual stirring in your heart, you must not silence it. The chosen ones must learn to trust the timing of the universe more than the logic of their own minds. Look at how divine timing has always worked in the lives of the great ones before you. Joseph's dream was real, but he had to wait for the appointed season before it came to pass. David was anointed king as a shepherd boy, but he had to endure years of testing before the throne was ready. Esther was chosen for the palace, but her divine moment arrived only when the threat against her people arose. Each of them was positioned by timing, and had they ignored the urgency of the moment when it came, the outcome would have been entirely different. The same law applies to you. September 25, 26, and 27 are not about superstition, they are about alignment. They are days when you must silence distractions, quiet the noise, and become deeply aware. Do not treat them as casual dates. Do not get lost in routine. Instead, sharpen your inner ear, because divine timing often arrives in subtle ways. It could be a conversation that opens a new path. It could be an opportunity that looks small but carries the seed of greatness. It could be a decision that seems inconvenient but shifts your entire future. If you ignore it, you risk walking past your own miracle. Divine timing is also about trust. You may not see the full picture during these days, but you must trust that the universe knows what it is doing. Sometimes you will only realize the significance of a moment in hindsight. That is why faith is required. Not blind faith, but faith rooted in the awareness that everything unfolds in perfect order. If you are aligned, you will recognize that even the delays, the detours, and the disappointments were preparing you for the moment when timing would collide with destiny. So when the universe whispers, "Now," do not hesitate. When the opportunity presents itself, do not overthink. When the signs appear, do not dismiss them. Divine timing will not always come with thunder and lightning. More often it will come as a gentle shift that only the spiritually awake will notice. And those who notice will walk through the door into blessings that others will never see. Energy shifts require attention. There are moments when the very air around you feels different, when the atmosphere carries a vibration that cannot be explained with logic, but can only be discerned with spirit. These are energy shifts, divine movements in the unseen realm that manifest in the physical as opportunities, warnings, or breakthroughs. For the chosen ones, these shifts are not random, they are signals. They are the universe's way of saying, pay attention, something is unfolding right now. If you ignore these shifts, you blind yourself to the very instructions that would lead you into your next level. Energy shifts are like invisible tides. Just as the ocean rises and falls, unseen forces govern the flow of destiny. Those who are awake, those who are sensitive, will learn to move with the tide instead of against it. But the ones who sleep, who remain distracted, will find themselves stranded when the current has already carried away their chance. The universe does not wait for hesitation. It rewards awareness. When energy shifts, chosen ones must respond with intention. September 25, 26, and 27 are days marked by such a shift. The energy that will surround these days is not ordinary. It carries a frequency of alignment meant to propel you forward. To treat these days like any other is to risk walking through them blindfolded, missing the signs, the nudges, and the opportunities the universe has carefully positioned in your path. Energy does not always shout, it whispers. It does not always push, it pulls. Only those who are paying attention will notice the difference. Consider how often you have felt restless for no reason, how a sudden urge pressed upon your spirit to change direction, to call someone, to start something new, or to stop something destructive. That restlessness was not random, it was an energy shift. The universe speaks to chosen ones through the language of vibration, through sudden awareness that breaks through the noise of ordinary life. The problem is not that the universe is silent. The problem is that most people do not listen. They drown out the shifts with distraction, with fear, with endless chatter, and then wonder why nothing in their lives changes. Energy shifts always precede manifestation. Before anything new enters your life, the vibration around you begins to change. Old things may fall apart, familiar relationships may feel strained, or you may feel drawn into solitude. This is not punishment, it is preparation. The shift is reordering your environment, aligning circumstances, and pulling you into the right position. To resist this process is to fight against your own blessing. To ignore it is to sabotage your own destiny. The chosen ones must learn to embrace the discomfort of energy shifts, knowing that the uneasiness is only a sign that something greater is being born. During September 25, 26, and 27, you may notice synchronicities increasing. Numbers repeating themselves, dreams carrying messages, strangers speaking words that feel like answers to questions you never voiced aloud. Pay attention. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. The universe uses energy shifts to magnify the signs so that the chosen ones cannot miss them, unless, of course, they choose to remain blind. Ignoring synchronicities is like ignoring a compass in the middle of a storm. It does not stop the compass from pointing north, but it leaves you lost in the chaos. Chosen ones must also understand that energy shifts demand adjustment. When the atmosphere changes, your actions must change with it. You cannot continue old habits and expect new blessings. If the vibration calls for silence, withdraw from the noise. If it calls for boldness, step out in faith. If it calls for release, let go of what no longer serves you. The reason many miss their breakthrough is not because the universe failed to signal, but because they refused to adjust when the signal came. They clung to comfort when destiny demanded change. They ignored the pull when the shift demanded movement. Think of a seed planted in the soil. When the season shifts, the energy of the earth warms, the rains fall, and the seed is urged to sprout. If it resists the shift, if it refuses to break open, it will remain buried forever. But if it surrenders, if it allows the pressure of the shift to transform it, it becomes the plant it was destined to be. You are that seed. These days of September are the rain and the warmth pressing against you, urging you to break open. If you ignore it, you remain buried. If you embrace it, you rise. Energy shifts also separate the chosen from the crowd. Many will walk through these days without noticing anything different. They will dismiss the restlessness, ignore the synchronicities, and explain away the strange coincidences. But the chosen ones will not. They will lean in, they will listen, they will understand that destiny is whispering, they will allow the shift to prepare them for the blessing waiting just beyond the veil. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not opportunity, it is awareness. Do not be surprised if during these days certain things fall apart. Friendships may feel strained, doors may close, plans may suddenly shift. Do not panic, do not cling, recognize it for what it is, the universe adjusting your environment so that the blessing can enter without hindrance. Energy shifts often require subtraction before they release addition. If you are too busy mourning what left, you may miss what is about to arrive. Pay attention to both what is removed and what is revealed. Both are messages, and above all, energy shifts require stillness. You cannot notice the whisper of the universe if you are constantly drowning in noise. Chosen ones must cultivate silence during these days. Step away from endless distractions, silence the doubts, and create space for clarity. The universe speaks clearest in stillness. If you are restless, sit with it. If you are uncertain, breathe through it. The energy will guide you, but only if you are still enough to feel it. Remember, these days are not just ordinary dates, they are portals. The vibration around them is heightened, and if you ignore it, you will step into the following days empty, handed while others step into theirs with revelation and blessing. The energy is shifting for your good, but it requires your cooperation. Awareness is your key. Attention is your tool, and obedience is your response. The chosen ones who master these three will unlock what others cannot even perceive. Tests before transformation. Every chosen one must come face to face with a truth that cannot be avoided. Before transformation comes, there will always be a test. The universe does not release power, revelation, or blessing into hands that have not been proven. A test is never meant to destroy you, it is meant to refine you, to strip away what is weak so that only strength remains. The days of September 25, 26, and 27 carry this energy of testing. They are not only days of opportunity, they are days where the chosen will be tried. And those who pass will step into a new level of destiny, while those who resist or ignore the test will find themselves repeating cycles they were meant to escape. A test does not always come with warning. Sometimes it arrives as inconvenience, as delay, as a moment that pushes against your patience. Other times it comes through people. The unkind word, the betrayal, the temptation to respond in anger rather than in wisdom. And still other times the test is inward. Will you doubt when everything seems silent, or will you stand firm in trust? The universe tests not because it is cruel, but because it knows that what lies ahead requires a stronger version of you. To bless you without preparing you would be to sabotage you. Therefore, the test is the doorway into transformation. Many pray for elevation, but despise the testing process that precedes it. They want the crown without the cross, the glory without the trial. But chosen ones, it is the test that proves your readiness. It is the test that makes you trustworthy with what is coming. You cannot carry new blessings with old habits, and you cannot walk into a greater destiny with the same unrefined character. That is why before every transformation there must first be testing. Think of the refining of gold. It does not shine immediately. It must be placed in the fire, melted and purified. The impurities rise to the surface only under the intensity of heat. The gold does not complain, it yields to the fire because it knows the fire does not destroy, it purifies. You are the same. These tests are the fire. They may be uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Without them, you would never see the brilliance of what is hidden inside of you. During these days of September, expect the test to come in subtle ways. A sudden delay may tempt you to quit. A conflict may arise that tests your humility. A door may close that tests your faith. The key is not to resist the test, but to recognize it for what it is. When you see it, do not complain, do not give in to frustration. Instead, declare within yourself, this is only a test, and beyond this test lies my transformation. That awareness alone shifts everything, because the moment you recognize the test, you strip it of its power to defeat you. Notice how every great figure before you was tested before their transformation. Joseph was tested with betrayal and imprisonment before he stepped into the palace. Moses was tested in the wilderness before he led a nation. Even the Christ was tested in the desert before his ministry began. The pattern is clear. The greater the destiny, the greater the test. If you feel the weight of testing pressing against you, rejoice, not because it is easy, but because it is proof that something greater is on the other side. The danger lies in ignoring the test. Many fail not because the blessing wasn't prepared, but because they quit in the testing stage. They mistook the fire for destruction instead of purification. They reacted in anger, in doubt, or in fear, and by doing so they forfeited the transformation that was meant to be theirs. Do not fall into this trap. The test is not meant to crush you. It is meant to reveal you. What you do during September 25, 26, and 27 will determine whether you rise into transformation or remain stuck in repetition. These tests will also expose attachments. Perhaps there are relationships, habits, or mindsets that cannot go with you into the next level. The test will reveal them. It may show you who truly supports you and who only pretends. It may uncover hidden fears or unhealed wounds. Do not resent this exposure. Welcome it, for transformation requires release. You cannot carry baggage into the next season. If the test is showing you what must go, then let it go. Do not cling to what the universe is trying to free you from. Patience will be one of the greatest tests during these days. Can you wait without complaining? Can you trust without doubting? The chosen ones are not measured by how they behave when everything flows, but by how they respond when nothing seems to move. Your patience is proof of your faith, and your faith is what qualifies you for transformation. If you can stand still in the silence, you prove that you are ready for the sound of destiny when it arrives. Remember also that a test is not meant to last forever. It has a set time, a divine boundary. No test continues without end. Its purpose is specific, to prepare, to refine, to position. Once its work is complete, it passes and transformation follows. That is why you must not faint under the pressure. Many give up at the very edge of breakthrough. They do not realize that the fire is hottest just before the purification is complete. If you can endure the pressure of these days, you will walk into the reward that waits beyond them. Energy will feel heavy at times during this testing period. Do not confuse heaviness with failure. Heaviness is the weight of transformation pressing against your spirit. It is the universe stretching you, enlarging you, preparing you to carry what you prayed for. If you feel tired, rest, but do not quit. If you feel pressed, breathe, but do not collapse. The test is temporary, but the transformation is eternal. Chosen ones must also remember that every test carries within it a hidden instruction. Pay attention not only to the discomfort, but to the lesson. What is the universe teaching you through this delay? What is it revealing about your character through this conflict? What weakness is it exposing that needs strength? If you pass the test but ignore the lesson, you will find yourself tested again until you learn it. But if you grasp the lesson now, you accelerate the timing of your transformation. So, as these days approach, prepare your spirit. Expect the test, embrace it with awareness, do not run from it, and do not ignore it. Know that every trial, every inconvenience, every silence is shaping you for the promise that lies ahead. And when you endure with faith, when you stand without breaking, you will emerge transformed, ready to carry what you once thought was impossible. The universe speaks through synchronicities. There are no accidents in the life of a chosen one. What the world calls coincidences are, in truth, coded messages. Synchronicities are the language of the universe, the subtle yet powerful way it speaks to those who are awake. When you begin to notice repeating numbers, familiar patterns, or moments that feel divinely orchestrated, understand this. You are not imagining things. You are being spoken to. The universe does not waste energy, and it does not send signs for no reason. Synchronicities are the markers on the path of destiny, guiding you step by step into what has already been prepared for you. But the danger lies here. Most people ignore them. They dismiss synchronicities as random, as mere chance, and in doing so they silence the very guidance they have been praying for. How many times have you asked for clarity, for a sign, for direction, and yet when the signs came, you brushed them aside as meaningless? The universe speaks, but it will not force you to listen. To ignore synchronicities is to close your eyes while walking through a path filled with lamps. You stumble not because the way was dark, but because you refuse to look at the light. These days of September 25, 26, and 27 are charged with synchronicities. The chosen ones will notice numbers repeating more often than usual: 11, 11, 2, 22, 5, 55, or dreams carrying strange familiarity, or encounters with strangers that seem timed to the very second. You may find yourself thinking of someone only for them to suddenly reach out. You may overhear a phrase that answers a question you were silently holding in your heart. These are not random. These are synchronicities, threads of divine communication woven into the fabric of your daily life. To dismiss them is to ignore the instructions of the universe. Understand this: synchronicities are not just for comfort, they are for direction. They are confirmations that you are on the right path, or warnings that you must shift course. When you keep seeing a certain number, it is not the number that holds power, but the vibration behind it. The repetition is a signal, a way of catching your attention so that you pause and listen. Likewise, when certain themes repeat in your life, similar messages coming from different people, or opportunities showing up in waves, it is the universe pointing you toward alignment. The chosen ones must cultivate sensitivity to this language. Synchronicities do not shout, they whisper. If your life is filled with noise, you will not hear them. That is why stillness is so vital during these days. When you slow down, you begin to notice the patterns. You realize that the dream was not random, that the number was not meaningless, that the encounter was not accidental. You begin to see that your life is a tapestry, and every thread is woven with intention. Consider how synchronicities worked in the lives of those before you. Abraham's servant prayed for a sign at the well, and at that very moment Rebekah appeared, fulfilling every detail of his request. Gideon asked for confirmation through the dew on the fleece, and it was granted. Even the wise men followed a star, synchronicity in the heavens, that led them to the Christ. These stories are not myths. They are illustrations of a universal truth. The universe always communicates through signs for those who are willing to see. But the question is, will you see? During these days, many will experience synchronicities, but only the chosen will pause long enough to recognize them. Some will dismiss the repeated numbers as mere digital coincidence. Others will laugh off the prophetic dream. Still others will ignore the strange alignment of events, and because they ignore, they will miss the message hidden within. The universe never wastes its voice, but if you repeatedly dismiss the language of synchronicity, the signs will grow faint. The lamp will still burn, but you will no longer notice its light. This is why attention is everything. The chosen ones must become students of their own lives, paying close attention to patterns. Keep a journal of what you see. Write down the numbers, the dreams, the phrases that seem to repeat. Over time, you will see the thread weaving them together. What once seemed random will reveal itself as intentional. You will begin to recognize the conversation the universe has been having with you all along. And when you recognize it, you can respond. Responding is key. Synchronicities are not meant to be admired, they are meant to be acted upon. If you see repeating numbers nudging you toward courage, then step into courage. If the dream tells you to prepare, then begin preparing. If the repeated encounters point you toward a person or an opportunity, then move with obedience. The universe is not sending you these signs for entertainment, it is giving you instructions. Ignoring them delays your journey. Acting on them accelerates your destiny. Also understand that synchronicities are deeply personal. What a number means for one person may not mean the same for another. The universe speaks to you in a way that your spirit will recognize. Do not get lost in trying to copy others' interpretations. Instead, ask yourself, what does this mean for me right now? What is my spirit sensing? The signs are tailored to your journey. That is why only you can discern their true meaning. During September 25, 26, and 27, be alert not only to external signs, but also to the resonance within. When something aligns with your spirit, you will feel it. That quickening, that spark of recognition, is the universe confirming the message. Do not ignore that feeling. Pay attention to it. Many dismiss their intuition as mere emotion, but it is far more. It is the inner compass attuned to the language of the universe. Do not be surprised if synchronicities during these days feel overwhelming. The messages may come faster than you are used to. You may feel as if the veil between the seen and unseen has thinned. This is intentional. The universe is amplifying its voice because it knows how critical these days are for your alignment. Do not brush it off. Lean in, listen carefully. The more you honor the synchronicities, the clearer they will become. And remember, synchronicities are also tests of faith. It is easy to doubt them, to explain them away, to demand louder, clearer signs, but faith does not demand proof, it recognizes patterns. If you can trust the whisper, you will never need the shout. The chosen ones learn to move on subtle nudges, and because of that, they are always one step ahead, always aligned, always ready for the blessings that follow. Alignment unlocks blessings. Blessings are never withheld. They are always waiting in the realm of potential. What determines whether they manifest in your life is not luck, not chance, and not favoritism. It is alignment. Alignment is the state of being in harmony with the flow of the universe, with the rhythm of divine timing, with the guidance of your inner spirit. When you are aligned, blessings flow toward you naturally, effortlessly, as though the doors of heaven swing wide open. But when you are out of alignment, even the greatest opportunities can pass you by, because the vibration of your life does not match the frequency of what has been prepared for you. Alignment requires intentionality. It is not something you stumble into by accident. It is something you choose daily. It begins with your thoughts, because thought is energy, and energy shapes reality. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, or confusion, you step out of alignment. But if your thoughts are filled with clarity, gratitude, and expectancy, you magnetize yourself to the blessings waiting for you. The universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to the frequency behind them. When your heart, your mind, and your actions are aligned, blessings are drawn into your life with precision. These days of September 25, 26, and 27 are crucial windows for alignment. The energy of the universe will be heightened, vibrating at a frequency that can release breakthrough into the lives of those who are ready. But readiness is not about busyness, it is about alignment. You must be attuned to the flow of spirit, willing to let go of distractions and step fully into awareness. To move through these days casually, without intention, is to miss the blessing. To honor these days with alignment is to unlock what the universe has been storing for you all along. Alignment begins with stillness. You cannot hear the whisper of the universe if your mind is cluttered with noise. You cannot sense direction if you are drowning in chaos. Stillness is not laziness, it is the discipline of tuning yourself to the right frequency. During these days, chosen ones must withdraw from the distractions that scatter energy. You must silence the doubts that compete with faith. You must allow your spirit to be quiet enough to hear the subtle instructions guiding you forward. But alignment does not stop at stillness. It demands action. It is not enough to hear, you must respond. If the universe nudges you toward a conversation, have it. If it whispers for you to prepare, prepare. If it shows you a door, walk through it. Many miss their blessings not because they did not receive the sign, but because they did not act on it. Alignment is obedience to the pull of destiny. It is moving when the Spirit says move, and waiting when the Spirit says wait. Without obedience, alignment is incomplete, and without alignment, blessings remain locked. Consider a radio dial. The station is already broadcasting, but unless you tune into the right frequency, you will hear only static. The blessing is already broadcasting in your direction, but until you tune your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions to the right vibration, you will not hear it, let alone receive it. September 25, 26, and 27 are frequencies you must tune into deliberately. This means practicing gratitude to raise your vibration, practicing clarity to sharpen your focus, and practicing surrender to release resistance. Gratitude, clarity, and surrender are the keys that bring your life into alignment. Gratitude is powerful because it aligns your heart with abundance. When you give thanks, even for small things, you affirm that you are already connected to the flow of blessings. The universe multiplies what you acknowledge. Complaints block the flow, but gratitude opens it. During these days, let gratitude be your language. Let it shift your energy from lack to abundance, from fear to faith. In gratitude, alignment is strengthened and blessings rush in. Clarity is equally vital. You cannot receive what you do not recognize. If your vision is blurred, if you are unsure of what you want, You will not notice the blessing even when it arrives. Clarity means defining your intentions, being precise in your desires, and trusting that the universe aligns with that precision. These days will require you to be clear. What are you asking for? What are you ready to receive? Without clarity, you may walk past your answered prayer thinking it is just another distraction. Alignment sharpens your vision so you see what others overlook, and then comes surrender. Alignment is not control, it is trust. You cannot force the blessing, nor can you manipulate timing. Surrender means yielding to the flow, trusting that the universe knows the path better than you do. It means letting go of the urge to cling to what is leaving and opening your hands for what is arriving. Many miss alignment because they are holding on to the old when the universe is trying to give them the new. If you truly trust, you will release resistance. You will let go of what no longer serves you. And in that surrender, alignment unlocks the next blessing. Alignment also requires purity of intention. Why do you want what you are asking for? If your motives are rooted in ego, comparison, or fear, you step out of alignment. But if your intentions are rooted in growth, love, and purpose, you harmonize with divine flow. The universe does not just give you what you want, it gives you what you are aligned to carry. Pure intentions create strong alignment, and strong alignment unlocks blessings that endure. During these days, do not be surprised if situations arise that test your alignment. A distraction may appear, a conflict may flare up, or an old habit may resurface. These are not accidents, they are tests of whether you will remain aligned or be pulled off course. If you stay centered, if you refuse to be shaken, you will prove your readiness. Blessings flow to the one who remains aligned under pressure. Alignment also creates acceleration. What would normally take years can unfold in moments when your vibration matches your destiny. Doors open quickly, resources appear suddenly, people cross your path at the perfect time. It will feel as though the universe is conspiring in your favor, but in truth, the universe was always ready. You simply became aligned enough to receive it. September 25, 26, and 27 are days where such acceleration is possible, but only for those who honor alignment. Above all, alignment is about authenticity. You cannot pretend to be aligned. You cannot fake vibration. The universe responds to what is true, not what is rehearsed. Alignment comes when you live honestly, when your words, actions, and spirit are in agreement. When you are authentic, your energy stabilizes. And when your energy stabilizes, blessings find you easily, because you are radiating the frequency of truth. So understand this. Blessings are never locked by the hand of the universe. They are locked by the state of your alignment. The key has always been within you. The question is not whether blessings are available. The question is whether you are aligned enough to unlock them. And alignment is not a one-time act. It is a continuous choice. Each thought, each decision, each moment is either pulling you into alignment or pushing you away from it. When you choose alignment consistently, you choose the path where blessings cannot miss you.